joining us here in Trafó House of Contemporary Arts in Budapest and online. This event is taking place in the framework of the MODINA Creative Europe project. MODINA is a movement, digital intelligence and interactive audience. And shortly, Naoto Mieda, who is a researcher at Tamás University, will talk to the artist collective Follow about their work. I just wanted to remind you here in Budapest that we have other MODINA programs taking place today from 4 o'clock, still moving in the club, and 6 o'clock gate last year in the main hall. And Holo's work maybe will be shown next Sunday, so we hope that you will join us at that time too. And please use the mic at all times for the stream. Thanks.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm Naoto. I'm here from Tamás University, and I'm here on behalf of the MODINA project. And just a brief introduction about MODINA. We're going to give a talk about what MODINA is tomorrow, so if you're curious, please join us. But basically, we host artists, dancers, media artists. We have 5 duos this year. We hosted residencies, and we successfully had the residency, and also you are selected from the 91 applicants, and yeah, so I'm really excited to have you. And after that residency, we are just kicking off the showcase and seminars in 5 different places. Trafó is one of them, and there are the 5 dance centers as partners of MODINA Creative Europe project. And you're also going to be in Düsseldorf, Tanzhaus, and STL in Tallinn, also girls? Yeah, CNDB. So I'm really excited to have you, and just to probably you can introduce yourself briefly. Here's Tamás Páll, you're a media artist. Yeah, maybe you could say one word about, I don't know, yourself.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Tamás Páll. I'm from Budapest, Hungary. I live here as well, and I'm a visual artist.
And Viktor Szeri?
Yeah, I'm Viktor Szeri. I live here at the moment, and I work here as a choreographer and performer, and I do also different stuff, like organizing the festival, and different stuff.
Yeah, I'm really curious to talk about different stuff and other interdisciplinary things. And Gyula Muskovics.
My name is Gyula Muskovics, and I'm part of the Hollow collective. And I'm just unofficially part of the MODINA project, which was for duos between a dancer and a dance artist and a creative technologist. And I contributed from afar, and also wasn't present at the work in progress presentation of our piece in Ljubljana, but here finally I will become part of it next Sunday.
Thank you. And it's kind of funny because we haven't watched the performance and really artist talk, so maybe we talk a little bit focused on the practice. But maybe you can give an idea of what this performance is, so that we know what. So the title is Baby, and it's kind of intriguing title. Baby, is it giving birth to a baby, or is it some specific baby are we talking about?
This performance started out last year, I think, when we started to work on it actually, before we applied to MODINA, I think. And the first iteration of this was an exhibition in Košice, and then we performed in Ljubljana, in Šiška. But basically this performance is about the collective that we have, Follow, and it's 7, almost 8 years of history, basically, and how we kind of relate to each other, how the labor that we put living together a lot of times during residencies and collecting all of these memories and putting it out as sort of this prosthetic child, character, whatever, that's kind of living on its own as an artwork, and this is the performance in like broad strokes.
I would just like to add one more thought that we were thinking a lot about the notion of family, and as an artist collective, we were thinking about how we can leave something for the world from us, which is not us but another entity, and in that sense, every artwork is kind of like an offspring, and this piece is going to be about this virtual offspring we have created using different technologies and memories and experience we had together.
And for the frame of MODINA, we selected artworks or proposals for performance installation based on the idea of working with performance and AI, artificial intelligence, and also the audience interaction, which for some reason stands for AI. Also AI stands for audience interaction. And can you tell us a little bit about how AI is used in, or how do you work together to incorporate AI in your performance?
Yeah, so as a collective, in our 8 years, we have always worked with some sort of technology, let it be visual, audio or whatever. We also have been using AI for quite a long time now in our background processes. But I think what's interesting in our collective that we work with technologies and we don't really treat them as topics, let's say, or things or points of interest. But there is a lot of techniques or technologies or methods, whatever, that kind of gets turned upside down in our processes. So we kind of try to treat one technique or one software, one specific to a technology, as sort of a metaphor or something something alongside the metaphor, and try to reverse it somehow. So for example, we started to use motion capture in the beginning, but then the motion capture got reversed by, for example, Viktor working with the animated characters that was in a game that we created together. So we kind of work with the notions of technology, but we kind of turn them upside down. But in the case of Baby, there are actually attempts to use AI or machine learning to process our very long history that was recorded in different digital spheres, like the chat history or in visual documentation. And we have a lot of this kind of data that we attempted to process via technology, but the thing is not to have actually build the software for your performance, but rather to turn our own kind of methodologies into something that can mimic, or not even mimic, but reflect on a technological thing. For example, we just had a workshop, by the way, upstairs, and Gyula was connecting the writing that went into Baby's, the performance's story, to something that should be similar to an AI-generated memory. So we had these switches between using the technology or reflecting on the technology through our own processes.
And how is it maybe Viktor, can you tell us working with AI and movement? Because I see a lot of time working, collaboration with dancers and technologists and media artists is often friction of how to bring actually technology in the performance and not being like superficial? And did it did you like how did you achieve like to bring this as a kind of conceptual way, not just like a sugar or like icing on the top?
I think like what Tommy said or described before, it's really important when we work that these things, these tools, what we are using, like there are like tools what I'm good at, there are things what Tommy knows, there are things what Gyula knows, but this collective exists 7 years ago, yeah, it just became that we really, like, I don't know, it became like super important, I think, in our working methods that we trust in each other and in our, like in different disciplines what we are working with. And in our previous works, what we created before Baby, called Aura. And in this performance, I think that was this turning point when because how we started to work together, that was like really obvious that Tommy knows how to create, I don't know, these kind of things on the computer, and we didn't know. But in the second project and in the first project, it was like knew that how we were three of us together, and then it became like kind of like a rule that okay, everyone knows like how to work with the lights and how we create the dramaturgy, what's going to be the characters, what we are playing in this performance. And then in Aura, what we created, I think like, I don't know, 3 years ago or 4, or I don't remember, it became again like really important that we don't really speak about like, or we don't give like direction to each other, but we trust that what we are building together is gonna work. And that's how it happened. Like for me, it's really important. Like for example, when I think about like technology, that I'm interested in it, but it's not like I think like it's not gonna be my part, like what I'm gonna do in a performance. But it's really good to know like different things. And for example, in Baby, I really loved this. What Toby said, this example that we're gonna use our chat history as a we're gonna create a language from this, so it's gonna be basically the merged version of how 3 of us are speaking together. That's gonna be the language of the Baby, but it didn't happen because of some privacy reason of Facebook and I don't know. But then you imagine that we're gonna write this whole storyline with this idea, and also for me it happened a lot that we started with this motion capture and I see these pieces everywhere that the technology goes until this point that we create, or they create an avatar and there is one person with this like funny clothes and they are dancing in front of the picture, and then you can see that the avatar is doing the same but with like, I don't know, 100 hands. And I really like this version that we twist this, that we try this, and sometimes also because we don't have the money or the technical equipment for things, but also now we just like decided that we don't care about like this kind of stuff that much, that we go like to this building this augmented reality and there's going to be this character, but then there is, for example, some like templates from games, if I understand that, and then I see if I'm doing something how this game character is doing in the augmented reality, but then we are not, or I'm not doing this, that okay, let's teach this character like how should they move, but like how I can teach or like how I can learn from the technology, or like technology, like this kind of visual stuff. And also, just one last thing, that how we create a word or something in a performance, it's what we said like before in this workshop, that we work a lot with like different games, and in this previous performance, this Aura, we created a word together, and then it was for me really, I don't know, for me it's like really important as a memory that how we work together, that there was something what we built or created together, and there was a common understanding or a common ground where we started from, but after we split, and then Tommy is doing something on the computer, so there is the dramaturgy, or there is the thing, or the tools, what we're gonna create, and Gyula is working on the, I don't know, some text or some, like, everyone is doing everything, but then there is this common ground, and then it's like kind of like giving a present to each other that was gonna be the final thing. So for me, it's all the time like a bit like this. I don't know, I also really long story.
Just make it a little longer. So one other thing which is very important is that we, all three of us, have our individual practices, but we've been like working closely together for years simultaneously, and it's not because of grants or different opportunities. It's because we like to spend time with each other and like the way we can work with each other. So it's not that we want to work with technology, and that's why we work with Tommy, who knows how technology works. There are certain parts we don't really care about. We just know that he's really good at it, and we just like the outcome of our collaborations and like the way we can collaborate with each other, and that's what makes us moving. And that's also why we don't really make technology our topic. We just use it on our own way.
And sorry, just because I don't really know a lot of stuff about like technology and how does it work and these kind of things. But since there is a lot of like unknown question, or I don't know what we are using, is it gonna work, or I don't know, a lot of like so many times it turns out on the day of the performance, you know, that what's gonna be what's gonna happen. And for me it gives this like really like a lot of like freedom, because in my own practices I feel that it's like really like this strict, and I feel that with Holo I can try out a lot of like different stuff. It would be like a playground, you know, that normally I wouldn't come up with these kind of ideas, but here I feel that we can try out like new stuff, or I don't know. Maybe it's part of this like technology, I don't know.
Just to add something that, because maybe it sounded like that we don't, you know, there is no technology visible in our performances, but there is a lot actually that we actually, you know, use, and they are visible, mostly in individual parts. Yeah, just wanted to say.
Yeah, there's like I assume there's always like hidden, not labor, but some things that to make things in the show going. I'm curious, like in the residency you had, you were not like in the same space, and now you are like three together and preparing the show for next week. Like how, like did it change the dynamics, or like how is it, or is it like are you happy being three together? Like how do you feel now about it?
We can go on. I think it's definitely much better that you are here, so we can work as before. We started working on Baby, and that's our like space to work in. So that's going back to normal, let's say.
Yeah, for me better too. I don't know, just to add something that for me this one it was really hard in Ljubljana, because we spent how much? Like 6 weeks in Ljubljana. It's also really funny that these foundries all the time like supporting that you have to travel somewhere and work there, where you don't actually know no one and you don't know that was the system there and was the, so basically the half of it is just like get to know the city, and then you can start. Yeah, so I don't know, this is something what I recognize, but also for me what was weird, that because Gyula was in New York, so there was a time difference and we were working almost every day together, but like with Tommy we were working whether separately or together during the day, and at 6 o'clock we had this Zoom meeting, so it was bit like if we would have a boss or something where and we should present to him that what we were working on, which wasn't, it wasn't like this, but it wasn't so comfortable, and now I really feel that it's good that we are together, we can share the work, and we are much faster, yeah.
Also, like one thing we've been dealing a lot with is like how you make decisions collectively, and making decisions collectively like online is actually much more difficult because like even though I wasn't officially part of the residency, like I kind of had the role, because I think like when we are brainstorming together, like working on something, like I think I'm the one who's like with the skill to like summarize things, or like they say a lot of good ideas and then I'm like, okay, write something about, but it's like everyone's ideas are included, but I'm the one who's summarizing, and it sometimes felt like there's this like tension that I'm like, okay, 6 p.m. you need to talk to Gyula, and I was like, okay, what did you do? So it's really not something which we enjoy more than actually spending time with each other, even though technology is very great.
And also I think it's important that we were supposed to do a presentation or a showing of the work, which was a bit like, wasn't really obvious that it's a work in progress presentation or kind of like a premiere. And I think it was supposed to call premiere also, it's like on the, and I think like, to be honest, we really treated this presentation as it would be a work in progress presentation. And now this one, it's gonna be like, it's also really different, like since we're gonna play it in more venues, it's gonna be really different, like how we present it. Like for example in Trafó there's gonna be the big, like not the biggest, but like it's gonna be like we involve more people because we know locals, it's gonna be a lot of like friends, artists involved, but they are coming from different disciplines. And also I think like here we know the techniques and we're gonna work with light technician, we know her since ages, so it's really different. So I really feel that now that's gonna be the premiere of this piece because we are together and yeah. It was a shock. Yeah.
Continuing the answer to this previous question, no, which is related. So like we individually have our own skills and we obviously use them, but the real, like the soul of our works is when we spend time together and come up with this like stupid ideas that sound ridiculous and weird, but they're actually really great. And that's only possible if we're like together, because also like we have a lot of work and it's like exhausting, but it's fun, and we have a lot of fun, and these performances are about like how we have that fun and how we want to share those moments with others or us. But when it would be honored, it was different because you didn't know that you had any fun.
I think this like aspect of like having fun is really like reflected in the work. I mean, it has this like dark aesthetics as well, but also like because MODINA residency, we also embrace the audience participation, audience interaction, and you really took that idea from the like playful way. And maybe can you give a bit of a teaser like how it's going to be? Like it's not going to be like a frontal performance, I assume. And from the audience, what should we expect as an audience?
So we will start the setup process tomorrow and the day after. We will have the first rehearsals for this version. But the whole thing in audience participation is that we don't invite the people for a performance, even though it is a performance, but we create a situation where they are kind of situated in that event, basically. which in this case, it's gonna be our birthday, that we will kind of celebrate, kind of mourn in different ways. And this is the main idea behind the participation, that viewers or like audience are part of the event and they also create that event together with us, sort of, even though we create the infrastructure for that event. And there are parts of like interaction where they are actually doing stuff. We invite them to do stuff. I don't want to say what, but there are like very like interactive parts with the audience.
I think it's also like in our previous work, it's really important that we all the time try to create a situation for the audience where we invite them. So we created in like previous performances also that it was like a secret location, so you had to join a chat group and there was a meeting point and you had to come to the meeting point where you knew the location, you got the entry card. So we all the time like do this kind of like games. And yeah, I think it's also in this one for me it's really important that it's really like our birthday or like like our collective's birthday. And yeah, we want to invite and also I think that's going to be the special one here in Budapest, that people, like some people, I mean like a lot of people, they followed what we did in the past 7 years and we can really celebrate with them now, this, or like, so here it's going to be like, I don't know, special.
And last thought to this, that it's also a way of like immersing the audience into like these stories, because yeah, like since we create situations, they may be surreal or made up, but they're real. Like that's the situation, you're there, and we're and that's I think an interesting way in theater to blur the line between like what's art and what's reality. And we've been playing a lot with that, mainly working with live action, role play, and other methods. And yeah, this other project we did with the group chats, and like there was even like a personality test based on which they ended up in different groups. And we actually had to do that because of COVID restrictions, when you weren't allowed to like. I mean, we didn't know for how long the restrictions will remain, and then luckily at the last moment we were allowed to do the show and like announce location in these groups. So, but that was also we invited them to meet us, and we told the story, and we had a lot of fun. Even though it was very dark, because it was about like a very dark future vision.
Thank you so much. And so in like 7 minutes, we are starting the next program, so we have to like wrap up just to keep the next schedule. So at 4 we have Still Moving downstairs. Everyone's invited to join. And at 6 there's Gateless. And at 7 we'll have another round of artist talk with the 2 other duos. And I'm again moderating. And your performance is going to be on 9th on Sunday at Trafó here. So please join. And is there any other like announcements from you? I don't know if it's a moment to please, if you want.
What is it?
It's okay if you cannot announce it. There will be some kind of announcement.
You will actually, like, you will see from the show. I don't think you are staying until next Sunday.
So definitely check out the performance on 9th, and thank you. And let's enjoy the MODINA and what's the other things. I don't know. There are a lot of things happening, so please check out the program. And yes, so I don't know how to wrap this up. thank you for people watching online, and we'll come back to you soon.